Get $96 in free extras from your domain name from GoDaddy.com. Each domain includes free hosting with a website builder, a free blog, complete email, and much more. Plus, as a MuggleCast listener, enter code MUGGLE when you check out and save an additional 10% on any order. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet today at GoDaddy.com. Because Tuesday is a very important day for all fans of the show, this is MuggleCast episode 63 for November 12th, 2006. Did you guys know Tuesday, November 14th, is National Pickle Day?
I did not.
I did.
Really? Why not? It's like a big national holiday. Yeah. Actually, it's Pickle Appreciation Day.
Sorry, who creates this? Who creates?
We don't eat pickles in Georgia.
I don't know. Jamie, I don't know. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find any
Pickle
information
Society.
on it. Someone emailed in, and then I went on. They gave me a link to a greeting card website. You know, you can send greeting cards for like holidays, and there was one for Pickle Appreciation Day. So we'll provide the link in the show notes, and everyone can go send each other Pickle Appreciation Day e-cards.
Which
via email.
you'll all want to do, definitely. So
yeah, and please send some to MuggleCast@staff.MuggleNet.com. So I hope everyone is going to be celebrating. I know I am.
Oh yeah.
And
eating a lot of pickles.
I will be eating various assortment of pickles on that day.
Well,
and I think
raise your hand if you like pickles.
I'm raising my hand, Ben, over here.
I'm half raising my hand. It's a love-hate thing.
I hate them.
Actually, no, I'm kidding. I really hate the taste of them. They're bad.
Like, when I get a hamburger, I just have it plain.
Yeah, me too. Ketchup only.
Yeah, ketchup only.
Oh no, I love pickles on my hamburgers. They're
No,
good.
yeah, pickles on a cheeseburger. That I only eat pickles.
Ben, are you the kind of person who goes to McDonald's and just like, yeah, please can I have a Big Mac, but please can I not have cheese, but please can I have extra mayonnaise, but please can I have
No, I
pickles?
say, can I get a cheeseburger plain?
Ben,
Then I apply my own ketchup
It
later.
takes them significantly longer though, Ben. I just used to pull off the pickles.
Speaking of McDonald's, we have a special new listener challenge later in the show that is going to change the way we all visit McDonald's. I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Jamie Lawrence.
I am Eric Skull.
I'm Laura Thompson.
Hey Ben, can you walk into Subway and just say, yeah, I'll have my usual?
I used to be able to, but like I haven't been to Subway in months.
Really?
Because I told people to stop sending me cards.
I
because
went to
felt so
Subway in
bad.
New York City.
I love Subway.
Well, yeah, you travel 3,000 miles to go to Subway.
Speaking of New York City, it's the only segue I can think of. Micah Tannenbaum is in our imaginary MuggleCast News Center with the past week's top Harry Potter news stories.
Earlier this week, we reported that Michael Hoffman was slated to direct the sixth Potter film. WB has now confirmed that this is not true. However, Production Weekly's latest issue contains information concerning Half-Blood Prince, including that David Yates is set to direct the film. While everyone should consider this a rumor for now, we heard that David has been in talks with WB. Emma Thompson, who plays Professor Sybil Trelawney, was interviewed on Jonathan Ross, where she mainly discussed her new film, Stranger Than Fiction, while speaking a little about Harry Potter. A video of this appearance can be seen over at MuggleNet.com, and Emma also did interviews with Newsweek, USA Today, and made an appearance on The Ellen Show. Jason Isaacs, the Lucius Malfoy actor, appeared on the UK chat show this morning where he discussed the Potter films and mentioned that he finished filming his scenes for Order of the Phoenix last week. In a recent interview, Daniel Radcliffe was asked if he would be playing a death in movie 7, and he suggested that Harry might die in the final book. He was quoted as saying that's the only way J.K. Rowling could ever halt any call for her to keep writing the Potter books, because I mean if Harry survives, she'll just be getting plagued by requests to write an 8th book for the rest of her life. In celebration of their 60th publication anniversary, Time Europe reflected on the heroes that have emerged in the past 6 decades. Joe Rowling made the list, along with dozens of other inspirational figures. And according to a poll by hotel company Travelodge, Joe has the 5th biggest fan base in the United Kingdom. The Harry Potter author ranks behind Manchester United, pop star Robbie Williams, and the Liverpool Football Club. I hear Andrew is crying you two didn't make the list. But Andrew, don't worry. This is, after all, a poll by a hotel company. As we reported last month, the American Library Association asked teen readers to vote for their favorite book as part of Teen Read Week. The association has announced the winners, and no doubt due to MuggleNetters voting, Half-Blood Prince topped the list. Leslie Phillips, voice of the Sorting Hat, joins the guest lineup for Collector Mania GMX, scheduled to take place in Manchester, England, between the 18th and 19th of November. Jamie Waylett, who plays Vincent Crabbe, and James and Oliver Phelps, who play the Weasley twins, are also set to attend. Finally, there is no more waiting. The first copies of the book, written entirely by MuggleNet staff, are now being shipped by our partner Olivons. MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7 can be ordered for just $15.84, shipping included. That's all the news for this November 12th, 2006 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
Alright, thanks, Micah. And anyone who's wondering if that chipmunk voice was real that he did on the show last week, it is legit, because Eric and I had him do it in New York City when we were
Did you really?
out with him earlier this week. Yeah, and he did it. I didn't believe him at first because I thought he might have just have done like a little like effect in Audacity or something, but no, it was legit. Not much news to discuss this week. There were a lot of news stories, but none of them were really like discussion worthy. Here's something I found interesting. J.K. Rowling ranked number 5 in the top 10, I think it was, UK fan bases. Now,
oh, what a load.
What immediately struck me about this was that, wouldn't you think that Joe probably has one of the bigger fan bases? And Jamie, did you see this list? Because I wanted to ask you about it.
No, I didn't. No.
Who's number 1? Lord of the Rings?
No, these are like
Star Trek?
people.
No. Oh, these are people's fan bases.
The top UK fan bases, number 1 was Manchester United.
What is Manchester United?
That's a team.
Yeah,
Soccer
football
team.
Stupid.
It's a huge
Football?
huge,
What are you
huge
talking
football
about? They're
team.
soccer team.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Football.
Ben. Yes, it's a soccer team. It is massive. It is absolutely massive.
Number 2, Robbie Williams, who's a pop star.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if I'd call what he has as a massive fan base.
Isn't that the guy who plays Hagrid?
No, that's Robbie Coltrane, Ben.
Oh, whoops.
This guy does have a great deal of fans. I mean, all of his concerts are sold out, very, very, very early on. But I don't know. Who came
How
third?
about Liverpool FC?
Soccer
Where is
club
Sir
again.
Elton John?
Liverpool
Beatles.
Football Club.
Soccer club again. They're yeah, they all have huge. The football clubs do have huge fan bases.
Now, what about something called Arsenal? What's that?
One more football club. Sorry, a soccer club.
Oh my
Jeez,
God,
that's
these
stupid.
crazy sports fans! You can't even compare them.
Football's massive. It's massive. Absolutely
Soccer
massive.
in the U.S. is not very big at all.
No, I know it's not. But
No,
here
like
it's huge.
we hate it over here.
We don't hate it. Some people
No,
hate
I hate
it.
it.
But,
It's too much running. I can't
And then
do
there's
it.
J.K. Rowling, and number 6 really disappointed me. You too. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't even understand why they're comparing that to kids
To soccer clubs.
to people who actually read, and don't just drink and watch sports channel,
Well, I think that's a bit of a stereotype to make. You can't say that all
Oh
football
yes, it
fans
is. Yes,
drink
it is.
just
And
watch it.
forgive me for making the stereotype if
Never,
it's possible. But I'm saying sports fans are quite a bit different from these kinds of fans, and I don't know. It's not exactly like we don't like the same exact things. I think it's like they should have done a list of something different. I don't know.
This poll was conducted by a hotel over in England.
They're experts. So yeah,
Well, a
it's
hotel.
pretty
Yeah,
true,
I mean, I know. Well, it made the BBC, so it's somewhat newsworthy. I got another question for everyone. Who's going to see Happy Feet this Friday?
I'm going to see Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Okay, but my question is, who's going to see
Well,
Happy
yeah.
Feet?
I don't care. I'm just going to see.
Back to the original question.
Well, what's that movie going to be about? It sounds dumb.
It's about penguins dancing on ice glaciers.
Oh, that'll
Robbie
be
Williams.
my
It's a
number one
classic.
stop this
An
weekend.
absolute
I'm
classic.
telling you that now.
No, okay, but you know why I'm asking this.
Yes,
The
I
Phoenix
know,
teaser
I know,
trailer
I know.
will be
I'll catch the trailer, Andrew.
attached to the front of this. Eric, you work at Happy Feet, or you work at the movie theater.
He
You
works
gotta-
at Abbey.
He works on a
you
glacier.
gotta- Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ben?
How long do you think it is until we have a version online that someone sends in?
I'm going to guess 2 minutes after Happy
Yeah.
Feet is
Yeah.
released.
Okay, I'm going to go to the movie theater. I'm going to buy a ticket to a movie I actually want to see. Then I'm going to go into the previews of Happy Feet. And then,
Oh,
I'll
and then
go-
switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I could stop you. I could kick you out, Ben.
Oh, could you?
If
Because
you
I'm
came
going to go
to
to
my
Philadelphia's theater.
No, if you
Or
came to
Reading's.
Reading, Pennsylvania. If you came to my theater.
And the trailer has been seen by a few people, and there's been some descriptions online, and from what we can gather, they are pretty accurate. And have you guys read these?
I
No.
read one.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Starts with Sirius.
Don't
saying
tell
something.
me. Your
And then we
spoiler
do a
policy. Spoiler.
Yeah,
do
don't.
it.
Yeah, you shouldn't say it, to be honest.
All right. I won't. Never mind. Starts with Sirius Black talking. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll be going to. I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it since
Is it
we all
worth the
know it's going to be
drive?
online.
No.
Yeah,
But we
gas
don't-
prices these days.
But we don't condone watching it online if it's been leaked, do we, Andrew?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
I do because if
Oh,
it's
right.
on YouTube, it's not our problem.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Allegedly,
it's
of
on
course.
YouTube, yeah.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it shows up on like Apple officially, maybe the same day.
yeah,
'Cause it just seems
It's
just
easier to
seems
put
kind
it
of
out
hard of
online
WB, you know.
instead of risking piracy. If they actually put it online, then they've beaten the pirates.
right.
Do you call people who pirate stuff pirates?
Yeah.
Internet pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound right.
Arr.
I can't imagine.
Well, neither does
I can
pirate.
imagine pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
What
but,
is the etymology of pirate? I mean, it's just
Pirate.
It's from the Latin "per," meaning steal, and "rate," meaning videos. Actually, I have no idea.
great.
Folks, we haven't been kidding. MuggleCast T-shirts will no longer be sold after beginning January 1st, 2007.
They're going out of style.
So they'll always be in style, but the shirts we'll have to take them off the website January 1st. So if you are thinking about buying a shirt, we urge you to purchase one now because they are going to be selling out fast, and we hope to sell out our entire inventory. Of course, they help to support the show, and so thank you very much.
You know what we need? We need hoodies, and then we need to say, keep yourself warm. This will be the last winter you'll have an opportunity to keep yourself warm, or something.
And of course, you all need to buy one for National MuggleCast Day coming this May.
You mean
June.
MuggleCast t-shirt?
June. I always forget. And then also don't forget to vote for us on Podcast Alley. We really need everyone's votes over there because we want to beat a little podcast called Keith and the Girl.
Oh yeah. And
Who's the
They're
girl?
these two big dorks who
I don't think we
podcast
can call
about
anybody
nothing.
dorks.
Well, yeah, it's a bit like us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not
We
dorks.
podcast about nothing.
We're cool.
Hey, also, now's the time to order MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Falls in Love, and How the Adventure Finally Ends, by Ben Shane, Emerson Spartz, Jamie Lawrence, Andy Gordon,
That's
and
me.
Gretchen Stoll. So
Andy
go pick
Gordon
it up.
is my pen name.
Shut
So-
up, it's not. The 10th time, it's not.
If you would like me to sign it, just please send your copies to the P.O. Box.
Yes, remember, this is going to be in your retail stores very soon. It's going to be in your local Barnes & Nobles and Borders. However, if you want to pre-order it online, you can visit MuggleNet. There's a link on the right side of the page. Yeah. Go ahead and pre-order
If you
it.
guys had pen names,
Well, I would have Andy Gordon
but-
because that is my
really,
pen
what would you have, Andrew? If you didn't, if you weren't Andy Gordon,
Bono.
then yeah.
I would be Bono.
Hey, hasn't someone used that before? I can't remember who. I'm sure I've heard that.
Paul?
Ben, what would you be?
Bono. Paul Houston.
Yeah.
And let me ask you something. If I go to my bookstore, do I have to say to these people, I want MuggleNet.com's What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Falls in
Yes,
Love,
you
and
have
How
to-
Will the Adventure
Yeah,
Finally
you
Ends?
said the
you
full
get one
title.
Can I
word
just
wrong.
say... can I just say what will happen in Harry
You can
Potter?
say
And
what
if
will
you get
happen in
one
Harry
word
Potter
wrong,
7.
then they tell you
They don't have it.
Yeah, you have to get
yeah.
it precisely
Exactly.
right with exactly the right pitch, intonation, and tone in your voice. And if you get it wrong,
Sounds like
You
a
get killed.
sellout book.
Well, I should hope so.
I should hope so too.
The MuggleCast Variety Hour.
Oh yeah, and little announcement here. The week of New Year's, it should be like New Year's Eve, I think. I don't know, and I'd have to consult a calendar. But that last week of the year, we will be having a special MuggleCast Variety show that is going to be made up of segments and musical stuff made entirely by the audience. And everyone might remember that we had a segment contest where listeners would create their own MuggleCast segments, and we used about 5 of them. We ran them for 5 weeks, but we have like 20 to 30 more that we never used, so we're going to use a few of those. And we've been getting a lot of different submissions lately, like little songs, like little MuggleCast remixes of discussions we've had. So I'm going to save all of them for this variety show. So what we're asking here is for everyone to send in any remixes or segments that you've ever had an idea for MuggleCast, and we will try to include them on that variety show coming later this year, and it should be a fun show. And the reason we're going to be doing that is because we won't be around. Send your entries to MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com. Maybe we'll give away t-shirts too to everyone who has their segment aired. I don't know.
Well, hopefully we won't have any extras left.
Because you've all been buying
Yes.
your MuggleCast t-shirt.
Yes, true that. Oh, and one final reminder on MuggleCast.com, the all-new MuggleCast.com.
Well, it's
we
been
are
new for
now-
about 2 months, so
It's still new to me. It's not 2
It'll
months.
never
It's
get
been
old.
like a month. Yeah. We have weekly roundups now to cover some of your listener rebuttals that we do not air on the show, and we'll post them on the website. So we encourage everyone to check the website. About midweek, they were released by one of the co-hosts who were on the past week's show. This week, we are going to have a discussion about the Forbidden Forest. It's one aspect of Hogwarts that we really haven't talked about much.
Maybe at all.
Maybe at all. I don't think we've talked about it much at all.
Not too much, seriously. Like maybe 2-3 episodes we might have mentioned it.
No, but there are a few questions about it that we wanted to discuss today.
I have one before the first one,
Oh,
if
okay.
that's okay.
Go for it.
Do you guys know that sometimes Dumbledore refers to the Forbidden Forest as the Dark Forest? Or several other characters. Like
I thought that was just a movieism.
it's in addition to a movieism, I think it appears once or twice in the books. Actually,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. It's not just
Well, do you have evidence to back this up, or
I don't, but I'm just saying. Is it likely that the forest is the actual name is Forbidden Forest, or is it Dark Forest, or there seems to be some kind of confusion there.
I think it is the Forbidden Forest, but because that's probably the way it was originally described in the books,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's like the first reference to it was Dark Forest, and then
Yep.
although, well, I don't know. You make a good point, because why would they call it the Forbidden Forest? Just because
If it's only forbidden to students
Yeah.
on one side of it,
yeah,
on one side of one of the edges of it.
Because
that could be the name just for Hogwarts students.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's not necessarily true. It's forbidden because it's dangerous.
Yes.
And there are things in it that are forbidden, like illegal creatures, like Aragog and his children.
Well, centaurs wouldn't be too appreciative to know that they're in a
Illegal, yeah.
in
Yeah.
a forest.
Well,
actually,
no,
I
that's
think
not
they
true,
would.
though,
I
because
think
they would
'cause-
consider their domain forbidden to
Yeah, that's true.
outside people.
Well, in movie 1, Dumbledore, Richard Harris says, please note that the Dark Forest is forbidden. And you're right, that could be movieism. But I was sure then around book 5 or book 6, maybe even book 4, when they were doing the tasks kind of near there, I was under the impression that they used Dark Forest once or twice more, so I thought I'd ask.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong, but I really don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think they either just refer to it as the forest or the Forbidden Forest. There's the chapter in the book is
And they
called the
use the
Forbidden
word-
Forest.
Yeah.
They use the word dark a lot in the movies, too. Like, if you'll notice, the tower where Sirius was the Dark Tower in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie.
Dark Tower?
What are they trying
Yeah.
to do? Just set a dark tone to it, make it sound even more eerie?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like one of those places that is lacking a major adventure. They've always gone in there to, in book 5, check
I
up on.
disagree.
You don't think so?
The first year, Harry goes in there with and almost gets killed by this Voldemort slither thingy, and then centaurs have to save him, but they get mad at each other. Second year, a giant spider sends all of his 1,000 younglings all over after Harry and Ron, and the Ford Anglia has been living there for 4 or 5 years.
No.
Third year, at the edge of it, the Whomping Willow nearly kills everybody, and everybody subpasses it. Fourth year, there's dragons being trained. What do you mean lacking in big adventure? The fourth year, there were dragons being hidden there. The fifth year...
How'd you hide a dragon? Just going to that quickly, it must be hard to hide a dragon. The forest must be extremely dense and sort of dark, and, well...
Yeah, exactly, so it's very easy to hide a dragon.
Well, no, I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's ever easy to hide a dragon. But I think it's helped by the fact that it could be... Well, that could be it. Or it could be mute, so it can't, speak or breathe fire, so it's easy.
Hagrid held Grop in there pretty easily.
Well, last time I checked, Grop wasn't a dragon.
No, I know that, but he was making a big scene in the forest, and no one really ever noticed.
It was far enough off. See, that's why I don't want to see a big adventure in the forest. It's always like, Joe writes in this long section of paragraphs where they're walking into the woods, and the scenery's changing. Then there's always a clearing. So far in that gets silent. Like, I'm not saying it's boring to read about it, because it's not. But we've had several adventures in the Forbidden Forest. I don't think it needs any bit more exposure than it's already had.
But it needs to be explained.
It's supposed to remain mysterious.
No, but well, perhaps, or it needs to be explained, because we don't know anything actually about it, apart from it's been used as like a plot point, but it's been used as a secondary plot point. There's never been a storyline involving the Forbidden Forest. Things have taken place in there, and things have happened in there, and revolving around it, but they need to talk about who created it, who can go in there safely. I wonder if Dumbledore can go in there safely. Obviously, he can protect himself, but will the centaurs welcome him with open arms?
Well, he's dead now, so I don't think that's
he
question.
Probably couldn't go walking in, could he?
The centaurs attended his funeral, so I would say they respect him enough, at least as a headmaster.
Perhaps, yeah.
To maybe he had to go in there and rescue Umbridge from the centaurs. So not only did he have to be on good terms with the centaurs, maybe speaking, but he had to convince them to let them.
I think they were upset with him because he took friends from them.
Well, yeah, they
didn't. No, I don't think they were. I don't think he took Firenze. Firenze kind of.
Yeah, I think they're more upset.
Well, I mean, but Dumbledore asked him to go, so
yeah.
Dumbledore doesn't really. I guess. Well, I don't know.
No, it makes sense.
You could say that
Dumbledore did take him in.
That shows that Dumbledore doesn't really have any respect for the rest of them if he's asking friends to go, unless he just didn't know. The fellow centaurs would be upset by that.
I agree. I think that's a good point, actually.
What about Hagrid? Do you think he is the only one who really goes in there?
Probably.
Fred and George have.
No, yeah, he did.
Taken multiple trips in there, which we'll talk about in a minute.
I think he does, but it's like he seems to be at home in that type of environment. I think he can handle himself very well.
Because it seems to be a place of outcasts too, sort of. Like Aragog, they tell him he can't be. You can't live in...
That's a good point. That makes any sense. You can't live in a cupboard, so...
But
who else might go in there to possibly use the Forbidden Forest to maybe hide something of their own? Could there really be anyone else who has the courage?
How big is it? Is it a huge forest, or is it just a small one?
That's always the impression I've gotten.
What,
that
huge?
Huge, yeah.
It was very vast.
Well, there must be other things in there. It's like, we can't expect to be the only people alive in this universe. We shouldn't expect that, spiders and centaurs are the only people who live in the forest. What? Unicorns.
I had a nightmare last night. Yeah. So I went to Vegas to help my dad with something, and the Sixth War had begun, and these people from outside of our world started bombing Vegas.
No,
with these giant laser things. I'm not.
That really happened.
This up.
Really happened.
Somebody write this kid a book.
It was very scary, and I woke up almost crying.
Aww. Then you realized you were safe in your bed.
But anyway, so that was my dream. So I think that does mean that there are other creatures in outside space. But back to the Forbidden Forest. Yes, like Jamie said, it is very vast. Could anyone else be possibly using it?
Yeah. basically.
Of
Anyone
course
in
they
Hogwarts?
could, but I don't know. I don't know if we have anything in the books that would lead us to believe
Yeah.
that.
As far as Hogwarts goes, like certain teachers may go in there to get some
Well, what about Snape?
material. Oh, maybe
Eric, what do you think about Snape?
when he has to go refill his potion ingredients, I don't. Maybe some of that would only be collectible in the forest.
Yes.
And Snape's gone in there before, to visit Quirrell actually, or to scare Quirrell off or whatever. Snape seemed to know a place in the
But
forest.
Eric, there's a difference
Yeah.
between going in and going in, if that makes sense. You can go onto the outskirts, but
Yes,
and talk. But
I understand that, but at least, Snape was comfortable enough with what was inside, or, he didn't fear what was inside the forest enough to go on the outskirts and not fear either being overheard or, he just wanted to take Quirrell in a secluded place,
so.
but, it was in the forest, so I can see Snape going in the forest to get potion ingredients and things, and for that, I would imagine you'd need to go in pretty far if you needed, like, wormwood or something.
unicorn stuff.
Yeah, unicorn something.
So what about Friend George? Because as I said earlier, I think.
Honestly, I'm sorry to cut you off. Where don't Fred and George go?
Well, that's a good point. But why do you think they're going in there, Eric?
Well, why do you?
they're just
why do you think?
mischievous.
Why do you think? Didn't you say
Ingredients for
they
their
Well,
skiving
yes.
snack boxes.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing I could think of. They're going in there to collect stuff for their business.
Well, they must know where to collect it.
Well, I doubt they go in there anymore.
Well, they left the school.
But it seems like the kind of place they'd be intrigued by. I doubt they haven't been in. I doubt they. And didn't Hagrid say in book 1 that he spent half his life chasing the Weasley brothers out of there?
That's very
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And it's something with the name. It's named Forbidden,
Which means they'd want to do it. Yeah.
How can they not go in it?
What about the possibility of there being a Horcrux in there? Does anyone think there's any truth to that?
No.
Since Voldemort has made trips into there,
It's too much of an
in there
open
for
place. It's
Unicorn's
like
blood?
everyone can go in there. I mean, even
Yeah.
though he could protect it, there could just be things walking past. Whereas the cave, you aren't going to go in there and find a queue of people, waiting to get in. It's like it is a secluded place.
Right. You can't even get down those rocks, according to Dumbledore, without magic.
Well, but
anymore you can't really.
since the forest is such a big place, don't you think it would be easy to hide a Horcrux? I mean, nobody would ever find that.
Well, yeah, but it's still open to all the elements, not to mention the numerous creatures walking around in there.
I wonder why Voldemort, when he was in his, little spectral form, didn't try and go attach himself to one of his Horcruxes, or the soul inside his Horcrux, or something along those lines.
I don't think you can you?
And
it's just
well,
Yeah.
well,
No,
but
he was.
I
No,
don't-
that little spectral form was the
was a
Horcrux.
part of his, was a Horcrux, right?
Eric. It's just your soul, though. Even if he got all of his Horcruxes when he was in a spectral form together and put them together with his current soul, he would still only be a soul. He
didn't have a
he
body.
can't store his body in a cupboard.
He would still only be a soul, but slightly more of one. He would be slightly more powerful. He would slightly be
No, that's
more...
untrue. As Dumbledore says, his magical ability and power is still intact even without a soul. I'd say that a soul has more metaphysical, moral, ethical, properties, and it teaches you, I don't know, right and wrong, stuff like that. It's a violation of nature to get rid of it, but you can still be magically powerful without it, which is why when Harry comes to fight Voldemort, he will still need, absolute mastery of magic to defeat him. In fact, even more really, because Voldemort's, completely malicious in his goals. He doesn't care about any type of morals at all, whereas Harry, since he has a soul, does. So
What about come book 7? Who could be left in the forest to help Harry? Do you think the centaurs could?
I don't think it's likely that.
Well, why not? Why not though, Eric? Because they've really stressed that magical unity is one of the only ways they're going to be able to defeat Voldemort.
Yeah, but who listens
Right,
to
but
that?
I just don't foresee them. Like, I don't understand why we have to have everything involved. Like, what's Dobby's role
everything
going to be?
involved.
What's
No, but not every magical creature, every magical person is going to unite in the war against Voldemort. But I think some will.
Right, but is it what it comes down to with centaurs joining humans? is whether or not, according to the centaurs, humans are very ignorant. They think they're animals. The sky's the limit with the complaints that they have. It's just a matter, the centaurs have read the stars, and they're very content. We've seen them. They're very content in knowing that there's going to be not just another war, but that humans are going to die. I don't even think they concern themselves with this war unless something really big happens, or you can believe that they will say, okay, we are the insightful people. The humans need us. Let's go help. But I don't personally see that as likely, and I think that the only thing that's going to help Harry in the Forbidden Forest is probably Mr. Weasley's car, because J.K.R. said it would.
Well, she didn't say it would help.
Speaking
She
of
said it
which-
would make an appearance.
And if it's not to help, that's certainly not
Well,
to break
that
down
doesn't
in front
mean
of their
that it couldn't
eyes.
be like comic relief or something.
Yeah, it probably will end up being something like that. Harry was walking along the Hogwarts grounds.
And Ford Anglia waved hello, and then it went back into the fire.
Yeah. Beep
And
hello.
it disappeared. Disappeared at the end.
And said, "Go buy the movie Cars, out now on DVD."
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, I think like with any other group of creatures or people, you're going to have the few that want to help and the few that don't. And that's what I think it is.
But what
Well,
help
if they can
really
see into the
provide?
future.
Well, they can't, though. They
Yeah,
They don't want
but-
to tell
well-
anybody, though.
and
Well,
Friends is the only one who
that
was...
we've
even
seen.
then-
And look what happened to him. He got...
even then, Firenze admits defeat. He says centaurs have read stars wrong.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that they couldn't at least be somewhat beneficial.
You
that's
could help
true.
a little bit.
That's
Wasn't
very
it
true.
them who predicted that a second war was going to begin?
Well, it was them that predicted that Harry was supposed to die in the forest.
That Mars is bright tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry was supposed to die that night in the forest, and they were all like, "Hello, Harry Potter." That way to Voldemort.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Why do you think... Now, this might just be a stupid question, but why do you think the forest became forbidden in the first place? Do you think it was because of Aragog that
No.
it became
No,
forbidden?
not just because. I'm not sure it's no one reason. It's a forest, and there's all sorts of creatures. Well, most of all, I think the most reason is that kids would be unsupervised. It's so close to the school grounds, and there's nobody really to keep watch over them there. They can't even get a defense against the dark arts. Well, I'm not saying it's that difficult to get people to watch kids, but it's a long, dark forest. There's animals that clearly do not want human beings, not only in their homes, but even, to exist or to interfere with things. Kids are ignorant. They'd be stomping around, shooting
Why do you
spells.
think they built the
But
school
do you
so
think it
close to the
predated
forest?
Hogwarts?
Oh yeah, I think the
Or
forest.
perhaps it didn't predate
I
it.
think the forest must
Maybe
have. I mean,
it was a nice
it's
forest,
a
though.
forest. I mean,
Yeah, but-
it's old.
But perhaps it was a really...
No, they planted the
Yeah.
forest.
Every single tree. It took them 1,000 years.
Johnny Appleseed was a Ravenclaw.
But
with
perhaps it's
very
a case
bright
of...
idea.
but
Or Hufflepuff.
do you think it's a case of sort of keeping your friends close but your enemies closer? Whereas, it's they have the spiders there. It can't only be Hagrid who knows that the spiders are in
Well,
there.
the
you know,
spiders
they
are only
need it.
there because of Hagrid, though, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
no, I know, but there's other... there are werewolves in there, obviously. You know?
Mhm.
Apparently.
No, there are. Well, yeah, I mean, according to Hagrid, there are. But, and there are unicorns, there's everything. It's the Thestrals as well. Hagrid also needs a place to keep all of his care of magical creatures.
But Eric, do you think that this forest, there was any one point where maybe the forest was safe, and then maybe Aragog started living in there, and then
No.
and
I
then other creatures began living in there because it was forbidden. So it was sort of like a
Because Aragog invited
no,
them?
because it was just
Yeah.
because it was a band.
dangerous creatures, lend me your...
No, I think
Whatever you
it
have.
was always dangerous. I mean,
It's always dangerous. It's just I don't want to say occupational hazard, but if you're a student going to Hogwarts and there's a giant forest, there's a risk of danger. I think it was... Eventually, probably enough students died in there, or enough students got injured, or were coming back, with scary stories that the headmaster at that time of Hogwarts said...
With no legs.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually at one point the headmaster would have had to say, okay, we're going to forbid this. I hope it wasn't Dumbledore. I hope it was headmasters eons before Dumbledore because,
do you think, I mean,
because Dumbledore can't be the only one.
do you think
who
there
ever
was any
says-
specific reason they built the school so close to a forest that's obviously dangerous, or?
Well, I don't think it was. I don't know. I mean, maybe the forest holds some educational value for the
I think
students.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, that was very clever.
It sort of does, but they don't really take much advantage of it if there is educational value.
Well, you don't know that. Just because J.K. Rowling doesn't include it doesn't mean
That's
that
true.
Well,
doesn't
I
happen.
mean, well, things with magical creatures wouldn't really be possible for you to ship all your creatures, however far distance, just to study them. I mean, that's one thing that it does benefit. And I guess plant life would definitely be the other one if you were to ask if Snape or if Sprout were to go into the forest to get things. It definitely does add a lot of the other things that you would need to teach a school, just not the direct things, not like students can go in there. That's like saying, why is there a giant squid in the lake? Why would you put it on the lake next to a giant squid? It's there for educational value, and that squid, I guess, is friendly. So.
Well, yeah, we do know that. So, I mean, Hagrid has ended up hiding a lot of things in there. Aragog, Grop, the Thestrals. Well,
the Thestrals weren't hidden.
Yeah, I think it's because
they're a natural.
Not the Thestrals.
I was going to say a natural plantation.
Right. It's their natural habitat.
Yeah, it's a natural.
Hogwarts just.
It's a natural.
Hogwarts just borrows a few to pull the carriages.
Do you think Hagrid could use the forest for anything else, like the motorcycle?
I don't think Hagrid doesn't have Sirius's motorcycle. Sirius has Sirius's motorcycle.
How do we know?
Because he went to return it to Sirius Black.
Why? What did he do? Did he drop it through the veil too?
He drove through the veil and jumped off just before going through.
Evil Knievel.
Exactly my thoughts, Jamie. Exactly my thoughts.
I don't really think we'd have more than one motorized vehicle in the forest.
Why? Is there a rule against it?
Seriously, why would the motorcycle
Well, it would
be
just.
out there? I don't know.
I don't know. It just
but Laura, the Ford Anglia must get lonely, so it needs a sort of motorized companion to.
It needs a love partner.
Exactly.
To wrap things up, Aragog's kids. What do you think they're doing these days? I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. They probably are just making a mess in the forest.
They are.
They have no guidance, no nothing. Unless they've died.
I don't think so.
Hagrid had to.
He had a lot of kids.
Yeah, but Hagrid had to pull. I suppose they're eating each other, aren't they? Because he had to pull Aragog out so that they wouldn't eat him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Why don't they just rebel? Go up to the school.
Knock on the doors.
They could probably take it by storm.
Knock on the doors. Drink some soup.
Up until now, Dumbledore probably would have kept him out.
If spiders ate soup, what soup would they eat?
Oh, I'd say chicken.
No way. It would be like Scottish vegetable and leek or something like that. It would be a
I was going to say alphabet soup.
I completely disagree.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I could so go
legs.
for some SpaghettiOs with meatballs right now.
SpaghettiOs. If anyone out there has a disagreement about the discussion we just had on the Forbidden Forest, you can always email MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com or use the handy feedback form to submit a listener rebuttal that will either be posted on the site, be read on the show, or we'll just read it and we'll
delete it.
With it. Yeah. Speaking of rebuttals, we got one concerning last week's episode. That's why I wanted to bring up allegedly. Did you guys realize there was not one complaint about the show last week?
Because
usually we get complaints about the show, and I think
allegedly.
it's because
Wait, Andrew,
you guys
you weren't
said
on it, were you?
allegedly. Yeah.
Andrew, you weren't on it. I don't think.
Well,
yeah,
me and Andrew weren't there.
Well, no, I
a lot of the problem.
Oh yeah,
causers.
we need to fix all of the problems in this then.
I think it might have to do with the fact that you guys said allegedly so much. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the show was just perfect last week.
Well, I say the host last week was pretty darn good.
Yeah,
I felt so important when I heard Micah read my statement that I asked him to read. I felt really important.
Like you're the president or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him read more statements for me when I don't want to comment on some controversial topic.
Your spokesman. Your spokesperson.
Yeah, exactly.
A spokesman for Andrew Sims refused to comment.
Yeah. We have a rebuttal now concerning last week's show, as I brought up already. This is from Brittany. She writes, when you were talking about Luna dropping off the radar after Book 5, I immediately thought of the fact that Fleur had also dropped off the radar after Book 4, and then came back fairly strong in Book 6. I just highly doubt that J.K. would not tell the outcome of such a mysterious character.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think, of course we're going to know the outcome, but I don't know how much of a role she'll actually play in the book. You know, we may hear, like, Luna died or something like that, but I don't think it will be like, Well, I just don't think she'll play that much of a role. We'll see.
Guys,
we'll see.
Do you remember what Victor Crumb is doing? Because I think didn't they mention him as well in book 6? Like, just Hermione said, like, she's writing to him or something. Yeah. So that's cool. I was just wondering. But yeah, she didn't even have to really bring Fleur back. But I guess it's just a case of, she shelves some characters.
Offer some
and
closure.
Then pulls them back out. So
yeah. What do you think is going to happen if some aspects of the book don't get any closure? Like a certain character. Is there just going to be fan fiction out the wazoo about...
And people are going to
fanfiction
complain
anyway.
like they did after book 6.
There'll be
Martin makes the Mad Muggle.
Yeah, what if he doesn't get closure? How does that series end?
Speaking of news, Dan brought up a good point this week, Dan Radcliffe. He said that the only way Joe's going to get people to stop bugging her to write an 8th book is that if she kills off Harry.
Oh, people will be bugging her to write some sort of 8th book anyway.
They'll be writing her to write anything anyway.
She's not going to write it.
Right, Jamie?
No,
People will
she's
stop
not,
bugging her
but-
to write an 8th book if she writes one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
They'll
if she
solve it.
doesn't specifically add closure to something, I think it'll be a case where the whole world is over, so she doesn't need to, or something like that. Like where the gist of most of what we'd be concerned about would be covered. And she say she might? She's seriously considering just writing like an appendices, like
She did.
like extra stuff, And I would be satisfied with that.
But the thing is, there are different types of closure. There's like closure for each character, or there's and they lived happily ever after, which solves everyone's fate, really. Instead of
That's true too. But they shouldn't end happily ever after because Disney does not own the rights.
yeah, it's very true. Yeah.
We are going to bring back a segment that we have not done in a long while.
while.
It's been a long time coming. You did invent this?
Mm-hmm.
The Dueling Club.
Oh wow.
Ben, then I think it's only right that you
Read it out then, Ben.
read it
Oh,
out.
read it. Let me hit an F10 here. Snape versus Hermione. Ryan, 20, from Pennsylvania, writes, I don't know if you guys are doing this anymore, but interesting one. It's not much of a duel technically, but here you go. Snape's intelligence versus Hermione's intelligence. A battle of the smarts.
See, I think Snape is a very, 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 very clever guy. I know he really is, though. His, magical ability, first of all, but also he knows, being a potions master, I don't think it's easy to brew potions. And also, he knows occlumency, geomancy, he knows all these things. I mean, if you're talking now, then easily Snape would win. Well, I mean, in terms of if they actually duelled,
Intelligence.
Yeah.
well, no, if they actually duelled, Snape.
I don't know. I think it'd be a case where Hermione, be like making fun of Snape. He got outsmarted by a little girl. that type of
Ben,
thing.
do you honestly think that if they had a magical duel, Hermione would win? She wouldn't have a chance against Snape.
No, we're talking about
No,
intellect.
maybe we're talking
Oh,
about...
Well,
yeah.
the
What if
problem
they
is
play
that we're
chess
talking
then or
about
something?
intelligence. Yeah, right. Exactly.
No,
It's-
I
How
don't know. Maybe
are we
we
supposed
don't
to
know what
compare
it's
them?
applied.
maybe
Yeah.
there's
Well,
a
they both take an SAT.
battle of wits.
No,
A battle of wits.
J.K.
Like,
Rowling-
say
the
maybe-
higher SAT scores.
No, if it's wits, I still think Snape would win.
Yeah, I
Jamie
agree.
illustrates a brilliant point. Intelligence. Hermione's intelligence goes a lot with book smarts. Reciting something. If you were to ask her what chapter 17 or what a certain author's opinion on something was, she would tell you. But intelligence, otherwise, as in cleverness, wit. Mind, reading, occlumency, all that other stuff that actually applies. Like even a game of chess, is not book smarts, and therefore I think Snape would have the upper hand.
He's just because he's older. It's because he's older. That's the only reason.
Well, yeah, true. And in Half-Blood Prince, the book, I mean, the stuff in there...
the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
No, I mean his...
No, the
I mean his book.
poem.
His book in Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, okay. The
Okay.
potions book.
Yes, the potions book. That shows how
Anybody know
intelligent
the
he is
exact
with
title?
potions.
Anybody
Advanced
know the
potions
exact
making.
Yeah,
Oh,
very good.
Yeah,
very
I
good.
agree. It really it showed that Snape was a lot more innovative because Hermione tended
Yeah.
to follow directions and Snape would find his
Right.
own way.
Right. And I mean, did Hermione screw up a potion in book 5?
Yeah, she did. No,
Did
she
something-
screwed it up.
I think
Yeah,
everybody
book
was
six.
screwing up potions except for
It
Harry.
was in book 6.
Yeah, it was in book 6.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. So, and in a duel too, you guys think? I guess he would.
Yeah,
Still
I think
right.
just
Yeah.
the age thing. Like
Put
by
it
the
this way,
time
yeah.
Hermione's it's the age like 30s or whatever how old Snape is.
Guys, do you have any idea how much Snape has survived? Snape has battled Voldemort I mean, every single time he's been in Voldemort's presence, that's kind of like battling Voldemort if you assume
It's like,
that he's good.
I do
Well,
not
it's
think...
pretty easy. I mean, if you think about it, Joe said that Harry would defeat Hermione in a duel. So if I think Harry could defeat Hermione, Snape certainly could.
And Snape
Well, duel or
and Harry
intelligence, too.
could not beat Snape in a million years now, as demonstrated at the end of Half-Blood Prince, when he was blocking his spells with,
Oh, yeah.
easily.
He couldn't even say the
No.
spells. That was awesome, though. I really
it was
loved
an awesome
that.
scene, awesome.
It showed how
Blocked again and
unprepared Harry
again
was.
until you learn to keep your mind shut and your mouth shut, or something like that.
Even then he's teaching him. God.
Oh,
Well,
God.
thank you, Ryan, for singing at Dueling Club. And if anyone has any other Dueling Club matchups that you would like to submit to us, just send them to MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com. It could be creative ones like this one, Snape versus Hermione in a battle of wits, or it could just be a traditional duel. Yeah. Now, before I read this, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. My fellow co-hosts are going to complain to me that I included this rebuttal just because
I'm sure you will,
it involves me. I do want to say that before I chose this rebuttal
from New
before I
Jersey
even read
as
the
well,
part
didn't
that
you?
included me. No, it didn't.
You so
I
didn't.
I
You say
chose
that
this
every
rebuttal
time it includes you.
before I realized it included me. I'm sorry, okay? If it said Eric Skull, I would have included it too. Anyway, Stephanie 19 of Washington writes, "Hey, MuggleCasters, I just voted yesterday in the midterm elections, and found myself quite unsure of who to give my vote to in more than a few races. There were positions that I had absolutely no clue about, so I did the logical thing. I filled in the write-in candidate box with Harry Potter characters. Included among them were Harry, James and Lily Potter, Ron Weasley, Dumbledore. In the last box I had available, a thought occurred to me. Hey, Stephanie, how could you make this a situation through which your name might be read on MuggleCast?" Well, she got that far right. That's right. I voted for Andrew Sims for county treasurer. I hope you win, buddy. Those other guys don't stand a chance.
Okay, hold on a
No,
second. Hold on a second. Why is this a listener rebuttal? Okay.
It's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
what
not a
I thought.
rebuttal.
It's just an excuse for you to read it.
No, it's not a rebuttal. It's just because there weren't many rebuttals this week, so. And I just thought it raises the question: why didn't we campaign to get people to vote for us or Harry Potter characters?
I didn't think about it.
Would have been fun. As I promised in the beginning of the show, I have a listener challenge for everyone, and I don't know. Maybe you guys have already heard about this already. I don't know if you checked your calendars or something like that. This month, November, is actually National MuggleCast at McDonald's month. You guys hear about this?
What is it?
No.
National
No, I
MuggleCast
can't
at McDonald's
say
month.
I have yet.
You didn't know?
No.
It's been posted at McDonald's.
Okay, what
across, the
happened
world.
to the fight against childhood obesity?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we do that too, Laura, because you listen to the show on your iPod when you're going for a jog, so you're getting exercise. There you go.
Yeah,
So
now
we're
you
helping
can
that
listen
cause
to
as
it
well.
when you're picking up your McDonald's after your job.
Well,
Your
you're
Big
stuffing
Mac,
your
yeah.
face.
Exactly.
And in honor of National MuggleCast at McDonald's month, we have a little contest for everyone here. Don't ask me what the prize is yet. Maybe a gift certificate to McDonald's or something.
Maybe a t-shirt.
But here's what you do. There's two ways to go about this. First step, visit your local McDonald's. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You can either go in-store and purchase a delicious McDonald's meal. Then, after you purchase your meal, visit the refreshments area and post a sign on the vending machine with a small promotional ad for MuggleCast. Take a picture of the sign on the soda fountain machine and enjoy your meal. Now, for bonus points, have a McDonald's employee standing next to the sign in the picture, and for extra bonus points, it's going to be a little tricky. I don't think many people are going to be able to pull this off. Have Ronald McDonald standing next to the picture, standing next to the sign.
And for extra bonus points, bonus points, have Elvis standing next to you when you take the photo.
And for extra bonus points, have Jamie standing in the picture.
Yeah.
But
Or
I'm alive.
just put a Muggle...
Elvis is a
now
lot harder.
So...
Yeah, that's true. There's a second way you could go about doing this. You could go through the McDonald's drive-thru and order a delicious McDonald's meal. But post a sign on the ordering kiosk, the thing that you talk into that displays your order and stuff. Post a sign on that with
Can I
a small
get a,
promotional ad for
MuggleCast?
MuggleCast. Take a picture and pull up to the first window to pick up your meal. Now, for bonus points, you can do this one,
With
but make
Elvis.
the ad look like it's a meal order. So, for example, you could do maybe a number 9 MuggleCast with extra funny and hold the boring price free. something like that. So we're looking forward to seeing what you guys can do.
Andrew, I'm getting kind of worried about your listener challenges. They're getting more and more sort of scandalous. Soon it's going to be like Fight Club. It's going to be right. My challenge this month is to rob a coffee shop and destroy an ornamental fountain and rob a bank and bring me the
Actually,
proceeds.
That's March's challenge. Yeah. March's challenge.
I don't know. I think the hardest part of that entire task is going to be acquiring a delicious McDonald's.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I think they are delicious.
Burger King rules.
You're right. Burger King is better. So we're gonna set a deadline on this. We're gonna make it November 30th. So yeah, through the end of November to take the National MuggleCast McDonald's Month Listener Challenge. And
you get extra points if you're wearing your MuggleCast t-shirt in the picture.
Yes, in the picture.
Or if you put it on Ronald McDonald.
Don't ask us how you're playing for points.
Or the Burger Goblin, where he says, you must be this tall. Right?
Yeah.
Just put an extra large t-shirt.
Jamie, can you please enlighten us with a British joke today? I like it when you come up with original jokes, like the kettle one.
I did actually come up with one, Andrew, while we were recording today, okay? Okay. So these people, are on this ship, and they're all inside the sort of main controlling bit where all the controls are, and there's one cat sitting on the instrumentation panel, yeah, and he's sitting there. He's always sitting there. That whenever they walk in, he's always there. And one day they walk in to find he isn't sitting on the instrumentation panel. So the captain turns to the first mate and says, "Hey, have you seen the cat?" And he says, "No, I haven't. He must have fell off the radar." Come on.
That was pun-believable.
Good.
Yeah.
I have an announcement.
Actually, that was good. You do? What, Eric? What's your announcement?
Well, this is today's the 12th of November? Okay, this day 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Oh, gee.
Start crying.
Oh, gee, here it is. Here it is.
I'm gonna cry.
I have been at MuggleNet 4 years today.
Very, very
Round of
romantic.
applause for Mr. Eric Skull, ladies and gentlemen.
And 4 years ago today, I took up the caption contest on this 4-year anniversary of the caption contest being taken over by me. I've started it up again, so that's it. Just go to MuggleNet.com/cc, or you can look in the left margin panel under fun, because it is fun, and caption contest. So, there you go.
Well, cool.
Also, I have an announcement.
We're not even done yet.
Sometime during November, I don't remember the exact day, but it's when I joined MuggleNet, so it's been 3 years for me.
Aww.
Now I can
And
believe it.
like that isn't enough. Today is Today is the 1 year anniversary when we did our first live podcast in New York City for the Goblet of Fire premiere.
And I got Emerson to buy me a hat last year.
I know, because you were like, it's my 3-year anniversary. Buy me a hat. We're gonna wrap things up today with a chicken soup, the segment everyone loves to hate, from Pike 28 of Denver, Colorado. And it's another election-themed chicken soup. Yesterday, I had the joy of waiting in line for 3 hours to cast a vote in the Colorado election. Luckily, I knew what was ahead of me, and I ran home to pick up my iPod and Book 5 to pass the time. Listening to old MuggleCast episodes kept me sane, standing in line, and kept my mind off my stomach growling for 3 hours. Plus, I was able to avoid talking to the disgruntled man in front of me the whole time. Good point, Ben. Good point. I don't know. But thanks, Pike. We're glad MuggleCast can help you relieve those election lines. Jamie, before we wrap up the show, we got this email this week, and I thought you might want to address it because, I don't know, maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Katie of Glasgow, Scotland, she writes, I've tried in vain to ignore this issue, but I'm afraid that it just exasperates me so much that it's forced me into sending an irate email. I'm writing concerning Jamie's frequent use of words such as trash can, kindergarten, and most annoyingly, candy. Frankly, I'm surprised he has not yet developed an American twang to his accent and does not add like into every available pause in his speech. Sorry for the stereotype. Girl, you're so off on that. Anyway, not only is this a betrayal of his own culture, he's insulting the intelligence of the American public by suggesting that they will not be able to understand phrases such as bin and sweets. Seeming proud to American being American is one thing, but adopting another country's idiom is another matter altogether. Whoa, snap, Jamie.
Katie, I was wondering if you could act like the sky at about 6 a.m. and lighten up, please.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry. Allegedly. I'm sorry. That was a bit mean. But no, in fact, I have met... It isn't insulting intelligence at all, but I have met some Americans who don't know what bin is. It isn't because they're stupid. It's because they don't hear that word. I didn't know what...
Yeah.
The only reason I knew what a trash can was because it sounds like what it is. I didn't know what kindergarten was the first time I heard it. When I was in America and Micah talked about how many blocks something was away, I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about because I hadn't heard it before. It's just we're catering for
What do you guys say
mostly
instead of
American.
blocks?
It's streets. It's a street. We're catering for a mostly American audience. So I try to Americanize it. So because that's the majority
It makes
of
more
the
sense.
of the audience. I'm sure, and it takes thinking about it. It's quite hard to remember to say kindergarten and candy and stuff like that. But it certainly isn't insulting intelligence. I just do it because we tried to do it on the site as well. So I thought we should bring it over to this. And I'm not betraying my own culture.
Traitor.
So
Not a...
Katie, I wasn't trying to be mean at all. I was just saying that it really isn't the case at all. I'm just trying to cater to the biggest audience around. So yeah, thank you for writing in.
On that happy British note, I'm Andrew Sims.
No, you're not. Contact us. Email us at...
Oh, yeah. No?
You want email MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com or go to MuggleCast.com where you can see our contact information, etc., etc. There's a feedback form, quick link that says contact. If you want to send something via mail, send it to P.O. Box 223, Moundridge, Kansas 67107. Maybe next week we'll do a P.O. Box update since we haven't for a while. Andrew, what are the phone numbers?
The numbers, if you're in the United States, you can dial 1-218-20-MAGIC. If you're in the United Kingdom, you can dial 020-8144-0677. If you're in Australia, you can dial 02-8003-5668. We will get back to voicemails next week. When you're submitting voicemail questions, keep them like general questions about Harry Potter and the series, or they could be some offbeat questions, So, also, we want to encourage everyone to get involved in the MuggleCast community, such as the MySpace that we have at myspace.com/MuggleCastFans. Become our friend because we are almost at 3,000 friends, and probably by later tonight we'll be at 3,000 friends. That's a lot of people. And you can also join the Facebook group MuggleCast, or vote for us, and also be sure to vote for us on Podcast Alley. Join the YouTube group for MuggleCast. Join the MuggleCast Frapper. Rate and review us on Yahoo Podcasts. It's all there. You can also go to MuggleCast.com for all the community links. But most importantly, become our MySpace friend.
Most important.
We like MySpace friends. Yep. So, on that note, I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Jamie Lawrence.
I'm Laura Thompson.
And I'm Eric Skull.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next week for episode 63.
No, 64.
Oh, and as a final
64,
note.
right?
64, yeah, 64. And just a final note before I forget. The interview with the creators of the Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix video game will be on our show the week of the 26th, which should be episode 65.
Turkey Day.
Yep, it's Thanksgiving show. So
Turkey,
see everyone then.
See ya.
Or actually next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, meatballs are so nice. Ben,
Yeah?
the other night I cooked a sort of like beef meatballs in sort of curry powder and some garlic and lemon juice, and it was so good. And then I made a stir fry out of it. Oh my god, it was good. It was so
You're
good.
cooked,
The recipe
Jamie.
will be available on MuggleCast.com.
Yeah.
And the show notes.
Do you know what gets me on these cooking programs? It's so annoying when instead of saying pour it in, they sort of drizzle it in, or instead of sprinkle it in, it's take a pinch and slap it in. They use
Bam.
Huh? They just use stupid
Douche.
words.
Bam.
It's so annoying.
Dash.
Yeah, a
just
dash.
a dash
No,
of this.
you know.
Just a, well, no, it's just to make it seem so much more exciting and elegant than it actually. Well,
Yeah,
that,
it would be
not that
pretty
it-
boring if they
that
put it in the bowl.
Not
and
that
put
it
in
is,
the
but
oven.
if they said, okay, put it in the bowl, put it in the oven.
Slam
Exactly.
it
And
in the
it's
oven.
just, it's it's theatrics.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Do
But
a
anyway, no,
360
Jamie, have you-
in the
degree
Jamie, have you
backflip,
finished your
slam it in the oven?
have you finished your Lucky Charms yet?
No, I haven't. I've still got like a box left or something. I have been eating them for breakfast though.